Hello, I see we have some people starting to show up, and we're just gonna hang in. I'm a little bit early, so we're gonna hang in there for about another minute while we give people a little bit of time to get on here. All right, hello everybody. I see we've got some people joining on here. I am Samantha Taylor with Taylor Stamps for Scrapbooking Store tonight. I have a really fast layout for you guys tonight. Summertime gets so busy with the beautiful weather and the longer days. So I wanted to have something that you guys could put together really quickly and also scrap quite a few photos. And I see, hi Anne, hello, please feel free to say hello in the comments. I try to see the comments. I miss a few with my setup sometimes as they're scrolling through. So if you have a question, you put it in there and I miss it, feel free to ask it again or star it, and I will really try to get back to it. And if I really miss it, I'll try to answer in the comments after this is all. You can also go back afterwards. It'll get posted on the Facebook page, so you can go back and look at this again. The sketch is available, and usually they will drop that link in the comments for me too, but the sketch is available free for everybody. I just printed it out. It's about a 5x7 or about a 5-inch square here. I just like to have it printed so you guys can see it in kind of a small. The idea is to get a lot of photos on our layout tonight, and while we're putting this together, I just want you to think about you can put it together with 4 photos like this. If you have even more photos, you can get rid of the journaling out of the center here and put a photo there and add your journaling to one of these other squares. Or if you don't even have a lot of journaling, you can drop it off altogether. Additionally, if you have a ton of photos, you can really easily turn this into a 2-page layout and do either both pages side by side with this layout, or you can do 1 page with the layout where the photos are marked, and then one where the gray squares are, and then put your pattern squares, as you'll see here as we build this, where the photos are. So just something to think about as you're watching me put this together tonight. I'm starting with and this is, sorry, I'm using the June kit tonight, but I'm starting with a full sheet of 12x12 pattern paper from the kit, and I've already trimmed the bottom off just so you guys don't have to watch me cut. The back side of this one is the rainbows. I just really liked this blue and thought it would make a nice base. However, if you don't want to use up all your pattern paper on a single layout like this, or you've got other ideas for this too, what you can do is use a piece of cardstock and then fill in the holes, I'll show you later, with pieces of pattern paper of this or multicolored pattern paper that you've cut out. So that's an option as well. And I know tonight I'm giving you guys lots of options. This is really a build your own. It's the best part about sketches is that you can make multiple layouts that look quite different from the same sketch. Usually I tell you guys one of the easiest ways to do it is just to turn it on its edge and make it the other way. Unfortunately, with tonight's sketch, it'll look exactly the same. So I'm going to show you guys some swap out ways to make it look the same, if that makes sense. All right. So the base of this is a 12x12 sheet of paper. And if you look at this, then we're just going to break our layout into 4-inch squares all across. So 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, right? So then you've got your 12 all across. What makes this really easy with this kit and fast, which is great with this month's kit, is there is an entire 12x12 sheet of paper that is these 4x4 journaling tags included. Now the back side's this floral print if you're looking for it when you get your kit or if you've got your kit in front of you. I knew I wasn't using the floral for this, so I knew I could use a lot of these. I pulled out the ones I liked with my photos already, but again, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 of these. There we go. Included in the sheet. A 3x3, guys. So you've got quite a few to choose from as you're picking out your 4 or so that you want to use for this. And again, if you don't like these and they don't work for you, you can swap them out for solid pieces of paper and sort of make your own square with some embellishments from the included sticker sheet or from the add-on embellishments if you do that too. All right. You're also going to need, again, 4 to 5 photos. The biggest thing with these photos is that they're going to have to be squared. So you're going to want to choose photos. When I printed these out, this one widthwise was perfect, right? So I stuck with the edges it printed out widthwise, but then I had to trim off the top and the bottom. So you're going to want to make sure you pick photos that you can trim into a square. Does that make sense? So if you have a landscape orientation, you're going to want to be able to use ones that you can cut the sides off of. This one's really tight because we took a selfie, so we're losing a lot of the picture, but it still works as long as you don't have ones that go super tall, and you want to make sure you include all of that. I print my photos out at 3.5 by 5 inches. I don't do the 4 by 6. You can do the 4 by 6 and you can either trim them down a little bit, or you're just going to lose a little bit of the border that you're going to see I have as we build this layout. Again, lots of ways to do this layout, not a wrong way. All right. The easiest way. Hello, Charisse. I think I've got that right. And Nancy, thanks for joining us. And if I missed anyone else saying hello, I apologize. I'm going to show you how I put this together so it's laid out nicely. I like to start with these because these are cut to 4 by 4. So they're cut to the size I actually want and need. Since my photos are a little bit smaller, I won't be able to butt them and get the exact spacing. Okay. I do know that I wanted this oh so sweet down at the bottom next to this photo. These are all photos from a morning we spent doing something called a ghost walk in Galena. It sounds scary. It's a history walk in Galena, South Dakota. And so they go in order for me. I'm kind of just going top to bottom in order from our hike, and then it was hot, so we went out to eat, basically. So I know this is the order of my photos. If you don't have a chronological order like I do, you can just put them in the order that you like how they look. Sometimes it's nice if you have people looking a certain direction. Like this, I kind of lucked out. This picture is nicer on my left-hand side because it draws your eye in because of the way my kids are standing, if that makes sense. So that's sort of how I'm laying that out. I also pulled a journaling tag from, again, there's a sheet of paper that has all these 3 by 4 journaling tags. I pulled that because I'm going to use it. And I know I want to, I'm going to go this way with them. All right. So I know this is a rough how I want my layout laid out like this. Because these are 4 by 4s, I'm not going to see any pattern paper around them in their little 4 by 4 square. My photos, because they're a 3.5 by 3.5 roughly, you're going to see this pattern edge around. Again, if you are more comfortable putting 4 by 6s and you don't want to trim them all down, you want to do a 4 by 4, all you're going to do is lose that border. You're still going to have a great looking layout. Again, then I would build that on a piece of cardstock so you don't lose all your pretty pattern paper instead of putting it on this instead. All right. What I'm doing now, you can see, is getting these lined up so my corners touch. And if my corners touch properly, or at least pretty darn close to it, what you can see then is that I have these lined up. Now you could use a ruler and get them lined up that way. To me, this is the easiest way to do it. I'm a lazy crafter, and so if I get these anchored in the right spot, they're in good shape. If you have a removable adhesive, you can tack these down with a removable adhesive and kind of get them where you want. kind of press them down so they stay in place, and then pull one off and put your permanent adhesive on it. Again, I'm a lazy crafter, so I'm just going to be careful not to disturb these guys around here a little bit, because I already kind of did that. And again, you're not going to be doing this in front of a camera, so it'll be a little bit easier for you. So what you can't see, sorry, off to the side, is I'm just getting some adhesive on the back of my piece here. And all I'm going to do, now remember, I am going off of my pieces I have here, and I'm trying to get my top lined up. I don't have to worry so much about this journaling tag, because that was just a rough estimate to get me how I wanted these pieces laid out, if that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to get these bad boys tacked down. And while you're watching me tack these down, I'm going to give you guys another option. So if you tacked these down on, say, a piece of cardstock instead, because you didn't want to use up all this pretty pattern paper, or if you just like a whole ton of color, or your pictures aren't super colorful, or whatever, I'm a mixer of pattern paper. I love mixing and matching lots of different prints and colors, so I will never say there's not enough color on your layout there. So if you just want more color, if you don't want a blue background behind everything, or if you just feel like it, you could also do 4x4 pieces. You could also do 4x4 pieces of cardstock and put them behind your photos like so. Then you wouldn't have to line up these guys. I would just go across the top, do the next row, do the next row, do the next row. Again, this is your layout. You get to build it however you want. I decided for this layout, it was too distracting. It was just going to be too much color to do all of that. But it does bring a lot of fun vibes to it too, if you decide you wanted to do something like this. So this is another way to change up the sketch that I just showed you, right? So that's an option too, if you decided you wanted more color. I kind of like my lighter blue background. I think it makes my sky pop. Again, everyone has their own preferences and tastes, and that's what's so fun about scrapbooking, is you get to make it for you and what you like. So I'm just going to quick pull these out. And I am going to use my adhesive now to tack down my photos. And guys, we're really that close to being done already. After you tack down your photos, you're going to embellish. And so I'm going to show you how I kind of pick up my embellishments. Honestly, guys, I thought about my photos and my journaling tags. I haven't thought a bit about how I want to embellish this. So you guys can watch me work my process on that, because I know sometimes some people are embellishment queens. They look at it and can just go bam, bam, bam. And other people go, oh, how do you decide? So I'll kind of walk you guys through my process with that. Some days it's super easy for me to pick out my embellishments. Some days it takes me and I sit and I hem and I haw. So you don't have to be one or the other either. You can have days of each. We'll see what I am today. All right, so now you can see that basically we've got this sketch for our layout. I'm going to tack my journaling tag down so I know how I want to embellish it. And in fact, so I'm not loving how this fits in here. I'm going to trim off just a teeny bit from the top and bottom of my journaling tag. So sorry, my paper trimmer just sitting off to the side. I'm going to trim off just a teeny bit. So now I've got that frame around it too. Not quite the same size as my other ones, but that just makes me happier. I'm going to tack it down. Normally I would do my journaling on it and then tack it down. Just in case I mess something up, I can grab a different journaling tag instead. It doesn't happen too often, but it has been known to happen. So I'm going to tack it down though, so you guys don't have to watch me journal. But I want it here so I have an idea of how I want to place my embellishments, since this has a bit going on too. Now it's a fairly busy layout with all of these journaling tags. So I'm going to, but yeah, I guess they're journaling tags with all of these pieces. So I'm going to keep my embellishments fairly simple. Again, if you went through this and went, "Gal, none of those really fit," or only one does, and say you wanted to use this as a title, you could also use plain colored and then build your own with sayings or pieces that fit your layout better. All right. Thanks, Natalie. I liked the blue on the background too. But again, like I said, everyone has different tastes, and so you can make it. And again, it's just what felt like it worked with my pictures, and sometimes that makes all the difference too. I do a lot of mixing and matching of pattern papers, and I love it. And sometimes you think something is really going to work, and you start putting it together, and it just doesn't work the way you thought it was going to, and that's okay too. I will back off and grab a different sheet then, or switch up the order that they're laying in to see if it fits better. There is no tried and true way to do this than to just walk through it. I am probably not going to pick any big word titles since I have these already. Like I said, I apologize. I have used some of these already on other layouts, but what's helpful is they do the little pictures. These are from the add-on kit, so if you didn't get the embellishment add-on, this is part of the base kit, and so either way you'll have a ton of stuff. I am just looking to see, I really like little words and little bits of stars and pieces. And I think I might use some of these. So this is also from the embellishment upgrade. These look a little bit like the old enameled brads, but what's really great about these is they're just sticky on the back, so you don't have to deal with the brad piece of it. And they're really quite nice and sticky too. Sometimes you gotta add your own adhesive because the adhesive isn't quite good enough. These are nice and sticky. I haven't had that problem with them yet. So I think what I'm gonna do is just add a couple of little bits and pieces. I know in my sketch I placed embellishments here because a lot of times I want to draw my eye in towards the center of the layout. It's very busy, so I think what I'm probably going to do is place my embellishments towards the outside corners. That's just the process in my brain, so you guys can kind of figure out what I'm doing. We had a very sunny, hot day. It was like 90s and almost 100 this day. So I'm going to add this little sunny word tag. There are some really big, bright titles and words included in this sticker sheet that are really nice. I've used them on other layouts. They're just not quite right for tonight. I'm going to grab one of these green ones just because I've got a lot of blue in here, so I think the green will look nice. Offset. And the reason I add this little bit up here is it grounds it. It makes it feel like it's attached to something as opposed to just a word floating out. And it looks like I saw there, we do have the link in the comments now if anyone didn't get the sketch and they want to grab it and print it out. So I'm going to mirror something similar down in this corner with an embellishment. And I'm just not sure what yet. You can see we've got lots of good words here. So I'm looking at some of the smaller words or some of the pictures that might look right. And so I really like these sunnies, but they're a bit too big. I think they'd be fun in some of these photos too. Let's see. I'm going to do this teeny tiny happy. And you guys might have a hard time reading it. It is teeny tiny, but it says happy. And I'm going to stick it again right down in this corner. So I'm kind of mirroring what I did up in the top corner up here, just so it doesn't get too busy. And I'm going to grab, I think instead of one of these, I'm going to grab, there's these fun little stars. And again, to keep it mirrored, I'm going to grab a green one. I don't know if you guys can see those. It doesn't want to. But it's a little green. It's a circle, but it's got a little star on it. And it kind of, since it's the same shape and color, and I'm just going to Again, mirror it so it's grounded a little bit under there. And honestly, guys, I thought I was going to do a lot more embellishments, but because of how busy these make it, I think I'm just about done. Any questions before I finish up with you guys? And again, you guys, that was 20 minutes, and it actually took longer because I was talking through my process a bit. Now, I did have the pieces cut already. If you don't have your pieces cut, you could still easily put this layout together in 15-20 minutes and have a complete layout that quickly, which is wonderful with how busy we get in the summer. Just to recap a little bit, do remember that these squares are easily swapped out. So if you want to make another layout that looks similar but different, place your photos here and place your pattern paper here. Or if you've got lots and lots of photos, again, swap out your journaling tag for the center spot and put another photo in there. All right. I think that is everything I have for you guys besides, oh yes, and this makes a double layout really, really easily too. And let me see. So if this were full size, you can see where if you do two of the exact same layout, you get these great photos that bump up against each other here and here, and journaling tags that bump up against each other here and here. So you get this really nice symmetry. Your other option is to do the exact opposite like we talked about. So you can put your journaling tags up here and you get this really great flow over a full 2-page spread. So, all right, ladies, if I have enough light yet tonight, I like to photograph my layouts by natural light. If I have enough light yet tonight, I'll take a photo of this and get it uploaded to the Facebook page as well, so you guys can see what it looks like completed as a solid picture too, which is sometimes a little bit nicer than seeing on video. Otherwise, I'll make sure I get it posted tomorrow for you guys right away. Again, I'm Samantha Taylor with Taylor Stamped for Scrapbooking Store, and thank you so much for joining me. And if you haven't yet, make sure you click on the link and grab the free sketch that you guys can get to make your own layout. And if you make them, post them on the Facebook page. We love seeing them and getting to ooh and ah over what you guys made.